What's going on, folks, and welcome back. With the lack of games and upcoming titles to wait for at the moment, I thought I'd take some time to introduce you all to a title I've been addicted to for the past week. The game goes by the name of Blood of Steel. Just recently released in the West, and from what I've heard, has been released and popular in China for a while, but I couldn't find a lot of info on when it was released or being developed in that other region. The first thing to talk about though is what kind of game we're looking at. Right off the bat, I'm sure some of you will already see similarities with titles such as Tiger Knight, or more notably, Mount & Blade, which is very much exactly what this game resonates with. You might even see a little bit of Conqueror's Blade in this game as well. It features directional combat, which I always love to get my hands on, especially when they let us invert our attacks via the options. Graphics wise, it's not the greatest, but there is quality to be had here on ultra settings, and surprisingly, the game is super well optimized. I've been testing this out on my older desktop that's definitely had its run through the mill, and the game has been running pretty smooth, aside from the occasional lag spike in either PvE mode or PvP, and one or two disconnects here and there. But luckily, open the game back up and you'll load right back into the match. Now character wise, this is where it gets pretty cool. After doing some counting, I found that this game has over 45 different heroes, and those characters each have their own skill sets, troops, and playstyles. You might have also noticed, these characters are designed after popular characters of fiction or history. You already know I've been playing a lot of Alexander, dipping my toes in here and there with Richard I, and even getting my Leonidas on from time to time. They've got so many different ones across multiple civilizations. They got Lu Bu himself, Julius Caesar making a comeback, King Arthur, Joan of Arc, Mulan, hell they even got Hattori Hanzo and Spartacus in here, and each of them have their own or multiple cosmetic skins already, which is also a big part of the monetization, which we will jump into in just a second. The game is free to play on Steam, with not the highest population currently for a game of this type, but a neat thing the developers incorporated is a pretty decent AI system. Not only do your troops respond to your commands pretty well and can act on their own in certain circumstances, but what allows this game to have higher activity across multiple game modes than others might is how they seep their bots into regular multiplayer games. You should not see them in ranked, but in normal mode, sometimes you'll notice how either your team or the enemy team has one or two AI players on them, and they actually take on the names of players themselves. This means if you're not paying close attention, you might not even notice it and think it's an actual player. A lot of times the AI players do just fine, but from time to time you'll see them pull off some very silly tactics that'll give it away right then and there. I don't know how they implement this honestly, but the way they do it allows for people to get Q pops in less than 5 minutes, sometimes back to back even. And this game has a lot of different game modes for you to enjoy. We've got Legion Wars that feature 5v5s, 7v7s, and 10v10s. Nice thing also is that you can queue up for multiple modes at once, which also really helps with the queue times. And yep, they've even got a siege mode in here, with working engines such as a battering ram, catapults, siege ladders, and even burning oil for the defense side. We've also got a rank mode already, and people are quickly climbing throughout that ladder, although I've developed a pretty intense love-hate relationship with it. And for all of you that are in guilds, Territory War will also be coming out in the future, but currently you can still start your own guild, access guild territory, even start up a warband of 6 players to get activity and rise up in an entirely different leaderboard, which surprisingly, I was able to join friends with and get into. Player vs environment wise, they also have multiple modes there too. Aside from the Legion War, we also have Hero Arena, where you can do team deathmatch, sector control, capture the flag, King of the Hill, domination, and annihilation. All of these can be done against bots with or without your friends, or against other players themselves. And at this point, I'm sure you're asking how many maps this game might have. Well, even with its short lifespan, across this entire week I've been playing, I think I've seen almost or over 20 different maps for this game already. And speaking of which, let me break down the progression system. By the way though, they will be releasing multiple campaign modes and at least 1 to 2 new heroes from what we've seen so far. Progression wise though, this is what I really like about the game. Now you can level up your character to get what are known as mastery ranks. As you can see, the bonuses are very minimal, but it does reward you for specializing in your favorite heroes. Also, you might have remembered that I mentioned that this game has troops. Well, luckily, we don't have to worry about a tier system when it comes to these. Everyone has their own individual unit of troops. Why this is a good thing is because these troops will stay at the same strength and playstyle no matter what. That means new players coming into the game right now, or maybe 5 months down the line, won't immediately get shredded by vets that have super high tier troops. which was also something that ended up being a major issue in games like Tiger Knight, and even in Conqueror's Blade at some points there. I always applaud games for leaning more on the skill side versus just grind, especially in games like this. And for the rank system, even though the progression does work like this, there are brackets for that too. Starting off, you'll be granted the rank of Viscount when you reach that point, and then all the way up to Emperor even, which you do get season rewards for. Warbands, like I mentioned earlier, can also get a season bonus for being in the top 3 of the leaderboards. Now the big thing I'm sure you're very curious about is the monetization system. With this being a free-to-play game, I was very worried while downloading it that I would see things like character power-ups, being able to buy high-tier troops, or just anything that would allow people to swipe their wallets and immediately get ahead. To my surprise, the game ended up being incredibly balanced on that front, all things considered. Now it does feature cosmetic skins for these characters like I mentioned before. Some of them have quite a lot of skins, but the newer ones only have about 1 or 2 so far. Some of them even have troop skins which let you change their designs as well. The way this works though is you can purchase these quote-unquote loot boxes from the cash shop, and yes I know, and then you have a chance to obtain the skins from those. It's important to note that you can either get the skin permanent or on a trial basis. But both these boxes and over time just by playing the game, you will also get skin shards and hero shards. So eventually you will get the permanent version of them one way or another. They also have a lot of events where you can unlock skins or heroes, or you can buy them with regular silver currency too. They also have a battle pass system, but nothing that's going to give you a giant edge over the other player. But the last thing I wanted to dip into is what you can buy with that regular silver currency. You can get this from playing the game normally, or events like I mentioned before, and also even quest objectives that they lay out for you in the game. And that also ties into the achievement system. But what you can also buy with this is armor shards, which are very similar to runes in League of Legends if you played. Basically, if you decide to play horse archers on a regular basis, or maybe a tank or melee assassin, you can set up these armor sets to give you more bonuses to piercing damage, attack damage, or even defense and health. Doing this is going to give that slight boost to your character to be even more viable, and that's something we can definitely dive into in a guide video later. But first, I've got to jump back in game because I'm kind of addicted. If you need something to pass time or you're just looking for something new, this might just do the trick. Hope you enjoy, and thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful night or day folks, and farewell.